Hey guys, it's Dana from the Tao of Dana, and today I want to talk to you for a minute about the idea of finding your way to success in something when you seem to be sucking at it. And that is something that is not foreign to me, and it's probably not foreign to you either. We all struggle with things that aren't intuitive to us or easy for us, and if you're anything like me, you've searched through life instruction manuals and various life philosophies and all sorts of things trying to find your way into this success that should come at some point, even though you're not quite sure where or how it's going to come. So this is the story, and this is a parable that was told by a Buddhist priest, and it totally blew my mind. So I'm going to share it with you, and hopefully it will teach you what it taught me or impress upon you something awesome. So here it is. Way back in Japan, not that long ago, there was a woman, young woman, and she just sucked at everything. She was completely lost. She left home to try to find herself, and she couldn't get a job. So she struggled, and she didn't have a formal education. She had only gone to high school. She didn't do that well in high school, and she was really struggling. So she applied for tons of jobs. She couldn't find anything. She'd go home and really think and pray and worry and try to figure out a way to not have to go back to her parents. That would be utter failure. So this is not uncommon to a lot of us. So she one day finally got a job as a checkout clerk at a grocery store. So you'd think she would be a little bit happy, and she was a little bit happy, but she was struggling because she sucked at it. And she had this manual machine, not like an electronic one, but a manual machine where she had to type in all of her checkout numbers, all of the prices for everything for people in line. So as people would come in, she would labor over each thing that she had to check out, and it was just completely and totally mind-numbing for her, and she was collapsing in upon herself, and she was ready to quit, and she went home and cried and cried and cried and just looked up at the universe and said, please show me a way that I could finally be good at something. I don't want to lose my job. And she didn't even like her job. She just didn't want to lose it. So she remembered that night that when she was a little kid, she wanted to be a pianist. And of course, she had defeated herself with her mind about how difficult it was and how much she struggled with the piano, but she was actually quite good at it. So she had this flash in her mind of how the keys of her little checkout machine at the register were similar to a piano. So if she could actually engage this machine the way she did a piano, it might work. So she went to work the next day, and she got a little bit more excited, and she started using this checkout machine as though it was a piano. And it started to work, and it started to go faster, and she started to get more rhythmic with her work, and she started to enjoy it more. And what happened was, because she was having so much fun, she started talking to people. And so finally, suddenly, instead of just being on her own, alone, she was actually talking to people during her day, and she didn't fear anymore that she was going to get fired. So for all intents and purposes, she was happy, and she felt personally successful, which is awesome. But here's what happened. There was a day where there was an emergency in the grocery store in the back, and they made an announcement that they were going to have to close early. So everyone needed to rush into line. And all of the checkout lines were open, and every single person in the store lined up in her line. And she didn't even realize it. She was just doing her thing and typing in her numbers and checking people out. And the management came up to people in line and said, I'm sorry, you can't stay in this line. You have to go in another line. We have an emergency. We need to close. And each person refused. And they told him one by one, we don't come here to shop. We come here to see her. We come here to see her, and we talk to her, and that's why we come here. That's why we go buy groceries here. We can get better deals other places. We could do more other places, but we're here just for her, so we're staying in this line. And everyone stayed in the line. And soon she realized what was happening, and she looked back at the line in the store, and she just fell on the floor and started crying. and she realized that she had connected to her life and she had found meaning, and that people really appreciated what she was bringing to her life. And it was all because she looked back and found a way to find a way in to what she was doing that she personally could connect to. And she wound up being promoted and promoted and promoted, and trained all of these people to do what she did, and to find a way to really enjoy their jobs, and to find a way in that was personal to what they were doing, so that they could really excel and soar and make other people feel better about their day as well as do their job well. So I don't know about you, but that story really had an impact on me, because we can get so wound up with how to do, and what book, and what manual, and what expert, and what person can tell us what to do better. But really, if you look back in your life to what you're really good at, what you're intuitively good at, even if it's something that seems completely unrelated to what you're doing now, that might be the way in to what you're doing now. If as a kid you were an amazing dancer, how can you bring that energy to what you're doing now? If you were, a brilliant chess player and you just kind of gave it up, what about that mindset can you bring to what you're doing now? There's always something. There's something to be found in what you are intuitively good at that you can bring to what you're doing today, that's actually really easy and freeing and fun, and you can bring a lot of joy to other people as well as to what you're doing. So on that note, I hope you have an awesome week, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.